Welcome. This is Recidiva. I'm sharing a recording of a casual Skyrim playthrough using a mod list I built. My profound thanks to all the mod creators who have made this game a crowdsourced treasure. I hope you enjoy.
Come on. Come on, boy.
I believe over here is a straight drop off a cliff, and I'm gonna be okay. In fact, we might just wee way off the point. Yay! Wee! Okay. I don't like falling damage. I think it's dumb. With all the magic in this world. So thanks to mod creators for adding magic.
What the fuck is that?
I love, you see them disappear, but I really love those glowing flowers. Later in the game, I tend to turn off auto loot so that I don't loot the glowing ones, and they grow back and they stay. Early in the game, though, I yoink everything. Obviously.
Days like this, it feels good to be out of the city, away from people.
Hello there, friend. You come to enjoy the sights and sounds.
Yeah, and also, I usually steal a book. You can't see me. Oh, I have to read it now. The Mystery of Princess Talara, Part 2, by Mara Leaketh. She felt nothing, darkness enveloping her body and mind. Yeah, we're coming in the middle of the story here, huh? Alright, well, you know. If I put this in my inventory, I will completely forget to read it later. Pain surged through her leg, and that sensation, a great feel... Oh, and with that sensation, a great feeling of cold washed over her. Oh, as a side note, as you guys have noticed, the sound isn't all that great. When I narrate stuff, I put it through Audacity, I do all sorts of stuff. This is just me playing with OBS. I really haven't used it before, and if I had to lock myself in a closet to do this, where it's quiet all the time, for like how many hundreds of hours, I wouldn't do it. So I apologize for the sound quality, but you're kind of stuck with it. I don't have a mic, and my laptop has a fan. Okay, so back to whatever book I'm reading. Pain surged through her leg, and with that sensation, a great feeling of cold washed over her. She opened her eyes and saw that she was drowning. Her left leg would not move at all, and using her right one and her arms, she pulled herself toward the moons above. It was a long way through the swirling currents that wrenched back at her. At last she broke the surface and sucked in the cold night air. She was still close to the rocky shoreline of the capital of the kingdom of Camlorn, but the water had carried her quite away from the point where she fell. Cavastil rock. Not fell, she thought, correcting herself. She had been pushed. Further down current, she allowed herself to drift. There, the steep cliff walls sloped lower until they were closer to the water's edge. The silhouette of a large house on the shore loomed ahead, and as she neared it, she could see smoke rising from the chimney and the flicker of firelight within. The pain in her leg was great, but greater still was the chill of the water. The thought of a warm hearth fire was all the motivation she needed to begin swimming again. At the shore's edge, she tried to stand, but found she couldn't. Her tears mixed with the seawater as she began to crawl across the sand and rock. The simple white sheet which had been her costume at the flower festival was tattered and felt like a weight of lead across her back. Beyond the point of exhaustion, she fell forward and began to sob. "Please," she cried, "if you can hear me, please, help." A moment later, the door to the house opened and a woman stepped out. It was Ramke, the old lady she had met at the flower festival, the one who had started and cried, "It's her!" even before she knew herself. It's her, even before she herself knew who she was. Oh, see, I remember this one now because I've read the books before, so yeah, this is Talara. Which, yeah, I've got a bad memory, so I should have, but we'll learn together, right? By contrast, when the old woman came to her this time, there was no glimmer of recognition in her eyes. "By Sethit, are you hurt?" Ramke whispered and helped her up, acting as her crutch. "I've seen that gown before. Were you one of the dancers at the flower festival tonight? I was there with Lady Julia Raz, the daughter of the ring." "I know, she introduced us," she groaned. "I called myself Kaina of Daggerflow." "Of course. I knew you looked familiar somehow." The old woman chuckled and led her hop by hop across the beach and into the front door. "My memory isn't as good as it used to be." "Same." "Let's get you warm and have a look at that leg." Ramke took Kaina's soaking rags and covered her with a blanket as she sat at the fire. As the numbness of the chill water began to leave her, it cruelly abandoned her to the intense agony of her leg. Until then, she had not dared to look at it. When she did, she felt vomit rise at the sight of the deep gash, fish-white dead flesh, plump and swollen. Thick arterial blood bubbled up, splashing on the floor in streams. "Oh, dear," said the old woman, returning to the fire. "That must rather sting. You're lucky I still remember a little of the old healing spells." Ramke seated herself on the floor and pressed her hands on either side of the wound. Kaina felt a flare of pain, and then a cool, soft pinching and prickle. When she looked down, Ramke was slowly sliding her wrinkled hands toward one another. At their approach, the lesion began to mend before her eyes, flesh binding and bruises fading. "Sweet Kinnereth," Kaina gasped, "you saved my life." "Not only that, you won't have an ugly scar on your pretty leg," Ramke chuckled. "I had to use that spell so many times when Lady Julia was little, I was her nursemaid." "I know," Kaina smiled, "but that was a long time ago, and you still remember the spell." "Oh, when you're learning anything, even the school of restoration, there's always a lot of study and mistakes, but once you're old as I am, there's no longer any need to remember things. You just know." I have to say, that's not true. I would like to remember lots of things I've forgotten as I get older. After all, I've probably gassed it 1,000 times before. Little Lady Julia. It's funny to me that I'm stealing this book in the middle of nowhere, time is frozen, and that's just kind of awesome. I don't remember the story. See, this is why we come back and we reread the books. I've listened to them in order, I've read them in order at times, but yeah, obviously you pick up books out of order. Little Princess Talara was always getting cut and bruised. Small wonder they were always climbing all over the palace. Kaina sighed. "You must have loved Lady Julia very much." "I still do," Ramke beamed. "But now she's all grown, and things are different. I didn't notice it before because you were all wet from the sea, but you look very much like my lady." Did I mention that before when we met at the festival? You did, said Gaina. Or rather, I think you thought I looked like Princess Talar. Oh, it would be so wonderful if you were the princess returned. The old woman gasped. You know, when the former when the former royal family was killed, and everyone said the princess was killed, though we never found the body, I think the real victim was Lady Gila. Her little heart just broke, and for a while, it looked like her mind did too. What do you mean? Asked Anna. What happened? Oh, forgive me for mangling all the names. Honestly, I've only read most of these names, so I just say them the way I say them. And again, I'm from New Jersey. I don't know if I should tell a stranger this, but it's fairly well known in Camlorn, and I really feel like I know you. Ramka struggled with her conscience and then released. Julia saw the assassination, you see. I found her afterwards, hiding in that terrible blood-stained throne room, and she was like a little broken doll. She wouldn't speak, she wouldn't eat. I tried all of my healing spells, but it was quite beyond my power. So much more than a scraped knee. Her father, who was then Duke of Orleans, sent her to a sanitarium in the country to get well. That poor little girl, cried Gaina. I don't know if it's Gaina or Gina. I think I'm going to switch it to Gina because it's less anatomical. Gina. Let's go with that. It took her years to be herself again, said Ramke, nodding, and in truth she never really returned altogether. You wonder why her father, when he was king, didn't make her his heir? He thought that she was still not exactly right, and in a way, as much as I would deny it, he's correct to think so. She remembered nothing. Nothing at all. Do you think, Gina considered her words carefully, that she would be better if she knew that her cousin, the Princess Talara, was alive and well? Ramka considered it. I think so, but maybe not. Sometimes it's best not to hope. Gina stood up, finding her leg to be as strong as it looked to be. Her gown had dried, and Ramka gave her a cloak, insisting she protect herself against the cold night air. At the door, Gina kissed the old woman's cheek and thanked her, not only for the healing spell and for the cloak, but for everything else of kindness she had ever done. The road close to the house went north and south. To the left was the way back to Camlorn, where secrets lay to which she alone held the key. To the south was Daggerfall, her home for more than 20 years. She could return there, back to her profession on the streets, very easily. For a few seconds she considered her options, and then made her choice. She had not been walking for very long when a black carriage, drawn by 3 horses, bearing the imperial seal, together with 8 mounted horses, passed her. Before it rounded the wooded pass ahead, it stopped suddenly. She recognized one of the soldiers as Norbuth, Lord Strail's manservant. The door opened, and Lord Strail himself, the Emperor's ambassador, the man who had hired her and all the other women to entertain at court, stepped out. You, he frowned. You're one of the prostitutes, aren't you? You're the one who disappeared during the flower festival. Gina, am I right? All that is true, she smiled sourly, except my name, I've discovered, is not Gina. I don't care what it is, said Lord Strail. What are you doing on the South Road? I paid for you to stay and make the kingdom merry. If I went back to Camlorn, there are a great many who wouldn't be merry at all. Explain yourself, said Lord Strail. So she did, and he listened. Okay, now we're going to steal it. You know, when a book glows orange in my mod list, that means it's a skill book I haven't read, so I can't resist. She doesn't steal much, but she can't resist knowledge. Maurice? Seriously? Dude, where's the dude? Oh my god.
Who's a good dog? It's you. It's you. You're a good dog.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna come up here and loot. See if he catches up. Maurice. You are a pain in the ass, son. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to go back out, zone out, and see if he shows up. I told you he was a liar. I'm not gonna get in the way. Well, I guess he told the truth. He's definitely not in the way. But he is metaphorically of me attempting to finish the quest in a life-affirming way. Rude. I could load a Maurice, but I don't want two Maurices in the world. One is enough.
Beautiful dear. I had no idea you were a woman of
Oh
violence.
my god.
What exactly are you intending to do here?
Drag your ass up to the tree. I need sap to fix the Gildergreen.
You would violate this marvel of Kinnereth's glory to fix that half-breed stump in Whiterun?
Wow.
That's abominable. Barbaric. I'll have
Half-breed
no part of this.
stump.
Why didn't you tell me what you intended?
Do you have a better idea?
Well, yes. There is something. It won't repair the tree back at the temple, but we could bring them a new one.
What did you have in mind?
Follow me. I think I can convince the tree to help us.
Come on. This can sometimes be a bug too. You have like lots of followers, the follower framework. Hi, sweetie.
Miko.
Hi, my kitty. Come on. But the Maurice quest is like, it's a vanilla quest that is just so weird. If you do this the first time, how are you supposed to know to bring him? The fact that he like hangs out at the entrance and then hangs out at the base of the ramp and you have to go back and get him, I'm sure everybody like tells him no, and then makes me sad. Come on. He's still stuck, isn't he? Oh my god. What are you doing? Why did you go that way? There's nothing over there. The tree's up here. This is one of those like Raiders of the Lost Ark things. There's the theory that Raiders of the Lost Ark would have all turned out exactly the same way had Indiana Jones not been there is kind of the thing here. Okay, so Maurice is dedicated, talented, and has enough rapport with the tree that the tree
The
will...
Elder Gleam has blessed us with a sapling. You should take it to Whiterun. Danica will want to see that the true blessings of nature lie in renewal, not a slavish maintenance.
So in reality, the Dragonborn didn't need to be here. Maurice, clearly has enough power to commune with the tree. Even from the base of the tree, I'm sure he could have just put his wonderful hand on a root and the roots would have lifted, and then he could have solved this problem on his own, like, for years. He's been dedicated to Kinnereth for years, and I've been here for a week? Like, come on, man. Alright, I'm still going to thank him for his help. Thanks for your help.
It was my pleasure, friend. In a way, I envy you getting to carry such a direct sign of Kinnereth's graces. Good luck on your travels. May Kinnereth's wind carry only the sweetest scents.
Okay, little buddy. Take the Eldergleam sapling. Now, in theory, in 6 months, my mod list should make the Eldergleam grow, the Gilder Green, grow back and look like this, but I never make it that far, so I always stop and pause and look at the tree.
I can't stop staring at your face. Oh, shit. How hard is it to fucking flirt? Stupid question. Really hard, apparently.
So, incompetence, lust, beauty. It's kind of the game, huh?
That's done. That's a beautiful song. Danica will be pleased.
Okay. So, I have likely done many of the quests that mean the most to the heart of my character. And now we'll actually launch into the vanilla game. So, a lot of times I've played by first quest in that I get is the first quest done. And once it goes to the top of the quest list, it has to wait, which means I just do like bits and pieces of quests. But that means it might be like a week between quest stages as my quest list organizes itself. I believe this time I'm going to be choosing a quest line and then completing it instead of what I might normally do, which is run around and pick up all the quest stuff and then do a little bit for the thieves, do a little bit for the assassins, do a little bit for no, you get the idea. I don't have to name them all. I am going to be... There's a stone over here. Where is it? Okay, yeah, the Atronach stone is over here. So I pick it up. I'm going to be choosing quest lines and then going straight through them because it can get really schizophrenic where you're like, who are you again? What am I doing? What? So to keep it more linear, I believe I'm going to be doing the full main quest first. Because the other benefit of that is you gain some skill, you're recognized by the NPCs. Okay, we picked up the Atronach stone, and now because I've replaced my favorite sign, I'm gonna go pick it back up again over here. I don't go to the gallery to pick up the lady's sign. I like visiting the stone. It's a beautiful spot. So it's a bit of a pilgrimage for her. And I show my devotion to the lover. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, look how beautiful. So I like coming back here and reaffirming my devotion. Seeing the signs. Gorgeous. Look at that. Right, guys? Isn't it beautiful? Okay. My little moon indicator is still white. I can still afford to get a little bit more tired. And even though the Gilder Green takes 6 months to regrow, I like getting her in place as soon as possible. So she's in her new home. And I know she's right near Heimskir, which is unfortunate. You have a weirdo yelling about Talos all day into your trunk, so I have muted him. He's still there. Don't kill him. But all of his preaching will be muted. So I don't have to hear it. There's a funny mod called Heimskir, but Crab, which just, it's not really lore, but you can just replace his model with a crab that just gesticulates
on the road up
and
north.
yeah. Okay.
I've got no fucking clue what they're talking.
You tried mercenary work?
What I'm agreeing to
It might suit you.
sometimes. I'm so far
Hi,
past the
Amran.
point of
Are
ever
you
seeing
bugged?
more
Sometimes I
Let's
miss the
see.
soldier's life, but when I hold my daughter in my arms, I know I made the right choice.
What were you two arguing about?
My Sapphire doesn't like that I've been spending so much time looking for my father's old sword. He fed his entire family with the gold he made using that weapon. I'm not about to let it gather dust in some thief's trophy room.
Do you need help finding the sword?
I tracked it to a group of bandits nearby, but I'm no fool. I'd need the Whiterun guards or maybe hire the companions to get it. I don't know why I'm saying this, but if you find it out in your travels, I'd be grateful to you.
Yeah, you're not from Skyrim, are you? Is such a racist question I don't ask.
If you find that sword, please bring it to me.
Okay. Amran is one of those guys, his quest tends to bug in Whiterun. When I get really completionist, I have to generally load through the console the ability to start some
I know
quests.
too well how it feels to lose the one thing.
Just a few
That
more
ties
hours
you
and
to
I
your
can
family.
crawl under some furs.
I'm glad that you offered to help Amrin. He's a good man.
I mean, Kaidan just knows so much about the game. And when I say, I mean, I've used other companions. I think I've loaded up and used the majority of the,
Need a blade? You should talk to Adrian at the forge.
Thank you so much, random guard. No, I don't use it, but go away. But
I give up. Can't carry on a conversation today with those lips looking so fucking kissable. Time to be broody and shit.
Kaidan has so many lines of dialogue and is so aware of the quest, and then I will often turn to another companion who just stares at me like, "Hi," and I feel bad for them. So I always feel
Looking
like
to do some hunting, eh? Avoid Brittleshin Pass
you're
in the
the same.
southwest.
Will you please stop? Okay, I'm gonna move. But Kaidan is so active and aware that's what I mean that other followers look stupid next to him. You know, Kaidan can obviously look stupid sometimes, and it is kind of amazing to me that you know, his flirting is so awkward.
God bless you, Hila.
But yeah, I can't really bring someone else along with him
I love
because
those.
he shows them up, and I
It's always nice to
imagine
have one by your
some
side.
of the followers like
To
having
hold
to
and
listen
share
to
your
us having
gaming
these
fire.
scintillating conversations and read books to each other, and I feel bad for them. So, you know, that's partly why I don't. I also with these, I mean, there's no more real room. I would start getting like booted halfway across the room. I'm lucky that Miko and Ironclaw are small. I have my collision turned off, but still, they will kind of kick me forward. I love that the Temple of Kinnereth, again, like everything, she's supposed to be so generous, but everything in here is marked for theft. Like even the knowledge. Look at this little library back here. But you can't, I mean, it's stealing to get any of this stuff. I'll still do it sometimes, but Saleya won't. She won't steal the books in there. Other characters, of course they will. Alright. Now one more, like, Kinnereth's kind of an asshole thing. Her, priestess is a bit of
Do
a
you have the
coward.
Eldergleam sap?
I've got a sapling.
But I can't run the temple without the support of people who are inspired by the Gildergreen. How can this little tree bring new worshippers?
Maurice said that renewal is more important than maintenance.
You're right, of course. It can be hard to hear the winds of Kinneret when all you hear are the rabble in the temple. Death feeds new life. I'm sure that in time, this little sapling will grow into a new Gildergreen that will tower over Whiterun.
And I hope
Thank
to be
you.
here this time. That is, I've never like sped up time to get to see the grown tree because, of course, I know it's just going to look like the old Gilda Green. I know what it looks like, but I am hoping someday to earn being in the game for 6 months. So, it's one of those weird goals.
Grace of Kinnereth be with you.
I don't like Danica very much. I don't really have an opinion about
God
Acolyte
bless you,
Jensen.
healer.
Except you made him talk.
I can't say I'm devout. I've decided
Yes?
my world is the here and now.
You healed Gideon. Good job. Yeah, I think Gideon also does the voice of the Imperial soldier in the opening carriage, which I haven't seen in years because I use this mod. It tells you to shut up back there. So I'm always like, hi! You know, very inappropriate. It's like playing Fallout, and the voice actor who plays Thane in Mass Effect 2 plays the bad guy, but really, I just want to hang out with him talking. Hi! Hi! I love you!
One more pompous arse starts making eyes and fucking simping, and I'm gonna be needing to pay some fines. Which is just fucking fine by me.
I'll give you the money, baby. Okay.
You look different.
Different? How so?
You look nice. Not that you don't always look nice, mind. Yeah.
I still don't know all of these and have to read them to choose between characters. Some of them I just have to say sarcastically because, you know, it's gonna creep into her voice. It's really not in her to, like, play Kaidan himself. Thanks for the compliment, Kaidan. You don't look so bad yourself.
Give you a hug?
Of course, Kaidan.
Yes, well, I'm glad to hear that.
Everything's all right.
Animations are awesome. I think they're so happy and they love each other so much, and it's awesome. So yeah, if again, as I've said, if I have the sex mods, I haven't been able to work them in ways that you know don't already begin the game with Kaidan, you know, ready to rip all of his clothes off immediately. I like the slow build
You
over
hear that?
time,
I swear there's something
and
out there in the dark.
the sex mods will kind of rob you of that experience. So when I said 2 different loadouts, I mean, you know, use mod organizer, which is the one I use. I don't use I have used it in the past, but I don't use Nexus's mod organizer. I think it's Vortex. But mod organizer 2 definitely helped me understand mods and mod order much more than Vortex was able to. So I use mod organizer 2. So I've only got one loadout right now because I only use this one. But if you want to use the sex mods, one thing that I learned kind of the hard way is no matter where you put it in your load order, it has an inherent version of Papyrus, which is the player-made scripting. Now, forgive if I'm not using the exact terminology. I'm kind of just sitting in a weird room off to the side learning this stuff the brute force way. But when I took Sex Lab out of my load order, it transformed lots of other mods that I had been using and gave them the Papyrus version that Sex Lab was using for it to function in. Now, I have Papyrus at the end of my load order, which means it should take precedence, but big mods and big frameworks can use their own versions of Papyrus, so you can think you're updated to the newest one, but you could still be operating off of a papyrus version that's inherent to a mod or framework that is high in your list. So I don't know if that made any sense to anybody. It makes sense to me. But the way that you could get around that is if you want to have the romantic build relationships and keep relationships normal and have people grow from, not knowing you to liking you in a more, vanilla natural way, keep those mods off your list. If you just want to run around and have sex with everybody, make sure that you're aware of the papyrus scripting conflicts, because my game transformed when I removed it, and I'm never putting it back in. Although it was fun. I mean, some of the animations are hilarious and awesome. Hello. Hello, kitty. Well, I'm supposed to be able to pet these guys, but the animation is missing. Yeah, it gives me the option to pet him, but it doesn't play the animation. But I do have an animation to pet the kitties. Since I updated, it isn't working. So I might have to go back in. I had to change all of my, the MCM recorder is a recorder that goes through and keeps track of all of your keystrokes in the mod manager. And I had to redo it completely, and I think I have missed the pet the kitties part, which makes me sad. But I'm going to pretend that I'm petting the kitty. See, it says pet, but really there should be an animation where I sit down and pet them. So I have lost that somewhere along the way. Let's see if I can pet
good
Miko.
boy, Miko.
Yeah, the animation is gone. Oh. Let's see if I can quick add it back in. It should be in dynamic activation key, but it isn't. Immersive interactions. Settings. Let me see if I can add Ironclaw to my... I'll start with Miko. So I have Miko targeted. Some of these I have disabled because they will bug. Okay, add to small pet list. Miko. Miko added to the list of small petable animals. Alright, let's see if I fixed it. Come on, sweetie. Hold still.
As if Skyrim
Nah,
didn't have
it
enough
doesn't.
outsiders. Now we've got mercenaries from Hammerfell.
Yeah, it doesn't work. That's unfortunate. I would have to do some serious debugging and reinstalling of those mods to figure out why, and that could mess up Ironclaw's scripting mid-game. So I am challenging myself to not... Like, this is the point in a regular playthrough where I would go, that's it! My game is ruined! And I'd go back out and fiddle with my mod list until I could pet Ironclaw, and then I'd start over because I've messed with my mod list. But this time, we're going to power through not being able to pet things. Just imagine that I am able to pet animals, and I do it all the time, because in reality, I pet, like, all the animals. And you're actually even able to, like, hug your horse, which is awesome. But, yeah, every time I summoned Anbar, it would give me the prompt, do I want to hug them or ride them? So I disabled it because, no, So, I will make a note that I need to fix that mod for my next playthrough. But I know I made it work before. Sometimes when I have made something work in the past and it's not working now, I'm not as challenged to fix it as I might be. Alright, well, yeah. Let's take a nap. We had a long day. So I think I'm going to be using OBS to record my first run-through of Veilguard, Dragon Age. And I will make every mistake on the face of the planet. I always screw up my first run through so tragically badly. So that'll be funny as a reference. And I want to learn how to use OBS. My son, Mr. Sinister, that's his tag on YouTube. If you want to find any of his stuff, he's one of the people that I follow on YouTube. Is amazing. He is amazing. I'm a good gamer. He's an extraordinary gamer. So I have watched him. So part of things that we do is I watch him do playthroughs. So the latest one we did was Another Crab's Treasure. So he just played that, and I watched that, and we just do that for fun. I have also watched him do an entire run of Undertale without dying once. I was there. I witnessed it. And when years ago, when Skyrim came out, he decided he wanted to do a run through of the game, and he tends to choose just like weird challenges. So what he did was decide to be a female cat named Spalami, who never used anything but fire spells, which was hilarious. And these are just like some of the treasures I have for myself, because I sometimes when I play this game, I have visions of Spalami. But he's brilliant. He is so good at this. And so Spalami only used fire spells, which meant he died like massively hilariously at the beginning of the game, because of course he didn't have the mana pool. And he did it on higher difficulty too. It was amazing. And so I've got a bunch of, and every time Spalami would get in trouble, all she would do is like stop in the middle of nowhere, wherever she is, and start going, meow, meow. So if there's a distress inside joke in this house, if you are feeling threatened, then your hands just go up like you're about to cast a spell. And if you are in distress, like stuck on an ice floe in the middle of nowhere and you're lost, and you're about to die to something big, you just go, meow, meow. So the other one that he did that is amazing is he decided at the beginning of Fallout 4 that he was only going to use hand weapons. Nothing ranged at all. He played a character that, oh, hey Kaidan, you want to cook? Okay, go for it. I like a man who cooks. I'm not gonna discourage him. So he played Fallout 4, and he was unwilling to use range weapons. So when it came up to the point where he was supposed to use the minigun, it's like at the beginning of the game. You use a minigun to kill a Deathclaw at range, and he wouldn't do it. He's too afraid of guns. The character had high charisma, so by the end game, you're essentially talking people into ridiculous stuff. But out of pure stubborn, my son picked up a crowbar, stood behind a door frame, and took 20 minutes with timing to kill a Deathclaw while hiding behind a door frame. A Deathclaw couldn't get through. It took him hours to figure it out, but he did it. So if you want to watch like someone who can manage Dark Souls mechanics like they're really, really easy, watch my son. So I've seen the best. I'm not going to compete. I don't do the Iron Man stuff. I'm not the best. I know who is. It's my boy. So I just like crafting and headshots and rescuing people. So I only get somewhere when I'm really, really stubborn and there's a lot of repetition. I think the only compliment he ever gave me was when I was playing Mass Effect on legendary difficulty, and I had done the zone so many times that I knew where everybody was, and I was actually landing my one-shot headshots. And he just said, "Wow, Mom, you're really good," which is the only time he ever said that. It's the best compliment of my life. So I have to do lots of repetition, which I just did. I just repeated that. So, yeah.
What are you making there? Smells good.
So I was saying, I think I'm going to record my first playthrough of Veilguard when it comes out. So Skyrim, if I'm still doing this then, if this even ever gets up, because I haven't even posted my first thing yet. And the last time I tried this, I got like 6 hours in, and then my game critically bugged, and I was sad. So we'll see. But I would like to record just for my own, I mean, even this is for my own purposes. I like iterations of a game. So maybe the next time this is to inspire myself to actually finish the game of Skyrim. I mean, I finished the main quest, but as for like doing one run through where I do everything, I haven't, and I'd like to. I would like to watch myself tragically fail at Veilguard the first time, which I will and always do. And then I like just slowly through repetition getting better at it till I know what I'm doing. So we'll see if that happens. But I'm excited for Veilguard to come out. It's been so long, and I am such a huge fan that yes, I'm going to buy it, I'm going to play it, and I really hope they use their time well. Right, honey? We hope they use their time well. Oh, you have a neck seam. But she's also got freckles. Look at the freckles. They're so cute.
It's actually quite beautiful.
I wasn't able to apply them to her face. Here, it looks like. Okay. So, we gotta fix the freckle neck seam. But you can't see it much now. Right? Yeah, I guess I've never noticed she doesn't have freckles on her face. Alright then. So that's something. I tell myself I'm going to fix this stuff. It doesn't mean I have the skill or ability to actually fix this stuff. I just want to. Okay. I was saying I was going to do the main quest, right?
You're a good dog.
I was going to do the main quest. Yes. Is there anything lingering? Anything lingering that I should do first? This I find ridiculous. Okay. In the miscellaneous section this is an artifact I'm supposed to look for Orion, but this is in the expansion, the mod that I have for the Winterhold College. So I have the immersive Winterhold College, and it's got a dormitory that apparently has a water pipe, which sounds so very thrilling, and I'm probably never going to find that particular relic. Okay. Is there anything I need to, there was something I wanted to do first, and I can't think of it. Alright, we're gonna wander like I know what I'm doing. But I believe now I'm gonna watch the pretty snow fall and contemplate my next move. Yep, main quest. Okay. So, now I'm going to go to Leveler's Tower, which will be mildly hilarious as everybody gets zapped out of the way because it has an inherent force field, which I don't understand. I'm sorry, guys, but here we go. So Leveler's Tower is an excellent place to cheat. Instead of using console commands. And this is a great... Yeah, so everybody got thrown around. Let's see if I can... Kaidan's gonna be back somewhere. Running back. But I'm gonna turn off the force field. Honey, you okay? Everybody okay? Oh, Kaidan's just gone. Okay. I'm going to turn off auto loot because if I go in here with auto loot, I'm going to pick up approximately 15 million in gold, all the soul gems and arrows and gear of the place. Hey, honey. So if you're on VR, this is a great resource because everything here, we'll sweep the tower, which means I got rid of the cobwebs, and it has Easter games and Easter stuff set up. I don't spend much time here, but you can have I think you can have Christmas and Halloween and Easter decorations, which is cool. I'm not going to be here long. I'm just going to use this to raise my enchanting skill because I'm just not doing that anymore. Getting to 100, I like doing it naturally early game, but getting to 100 just means a ridiculous number of used up gems and making iron daggers or rings and doing it by hand. I hate it. I've done it. I've earned it. I've earned the right to remember this knowledge, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I'm just mashing the button until it tells me that I've gotten the achievement. So yes, museum display added, skill mastery, enchanting. Alrighty. This has now boosted my levels up quite a bit. And I'm okay with that too. Give me a bunch of points, fill in some of my skills. I don't need to spend any points on the experimenter skill, so I'm not gonna. Even though I have loads of points. I used to use the perk tree alterations, ordinator. There were a couple, and I patched them all together, and I did them all together. But for this run through, I did go through and take them all back out. Although they are a lot of fun and it does have some good stuff in it, patching all of that stuff in together with all of the mods that I have and not ending up with kind of critical bugs is difficult. I think the only thing that I really miss is the I really like the lockpicking skill where your lockpick starts near to where it will open. That's about the only one I really do miss. Thanks for watching. Wishing you found family, creative hobbies, a hot bath after a long day, and food you love as much as Saleya loves apple pies.